one thing that we want to do is obviously talk about all the other prizes that are here. I'm going to definitely spend a few minutes covering all of that. But before we get into the prizes, we want to really take this opportunity while we have 1,000 plus of you here in this room to get to know about what this ecosystem means to us and what it means to everybody else that's been in this space for some time. I want to focus a lot more on the culture of Ethereum and how we think about the future moving forward and how we think about Web3 ecosystem and how we would like it to, the direction we like it to be in. And that's all under the theme of the Infinite Garden. And to talk about the culture of Ethereum, I want to bring on a very special guest, Aya Miyaguchi, who is the executive director of the Ethereum Foundation, to share more about the culture and what this ecosystem means to all of us. So please give a big round of applause to Aya.
Hello, everyone. Wow, it's already late. I know you're tired, and I'm going to give a Japanese lesson next 20 minutes. Just kidding. こんにちは、こんばんは、皆さん. I'm thrilled to be here at the first Ethereum hackathon in Tokyo at this scale. It is very big for Japanese. Today, I'd like to talk about the power of open learning in the Infinite Garden. I want to share with you how Ethereum is revolutionizing the way we learn and grow, and how you can be part of the revolution by becoming an infinite teacher. How many of you have heard of this Infinite Garden? Oh, okay. Impressive. Thank you. So this is a vision we used at the Ethereum Foundation, and we're hoping everyone to be part of this Infinite Garden. And I'm going to explain again a little bit about this Infinite. I came up with the idea inspired by the book by James Carse. The word infinite is from Infinite Games, as in his book, Finite and Infinite Games. In a finite game, the game ends when someone wins, as in normal, like sports games and others. While in an infinite game, we play the game to continue the game with changing rules and players. The vision of the Infinite Garden has the word infinite from this inspiration, as I believe it describes the beautiful culture of Ethereum. At the merge last year, for example, do you remember the merge? Do you still remember the merge? Well, I guess we had another big milestone yesterday that kind of finished the proof of stake work, where Ethereum finally shifted from proof of work to proof of stake last year. There were more researchers and developers outside of the Ethereum Foundation that were involved in the execution of this enormous amount of work. All the devs from different client teams work together. Ethereum understands the importance of client diversity, and Ethereum understands that is more important than having only one big team succeeding. That is a perfect example of an infinite game, and those who participated are all infinite players. So how can you play in an infinite game at this hackathon? I understand there are prizes here, supported by great sponsors who just presented, and I think that is great to motivate people to build. But I would like to suggest something new today. Let me ask you questions. Please raise your hand if you identify yourself as Web3 developer. Okay, thank you. Please raise your hand if you see yourself as rather a beginner to Web3. Okay, thanks for being honest. Please raise your hand if you think you are new to Web3 but have expertise in some specific domains, other domains, some programming languages, security, privacy, UX. Okay, you're very humble. Please raise your hand if you are here to learn. Oh, I see almost always. Yes, so there are many who are here to learn. I'm also here to learn. ETHGlobal told me that a lot of skilled Web2 developers come here to get into Web3. a hackathon is a great place to learn. I believe there's something unique about hackathons in Ethereum that makes your learning experience more special, because this is also a game that is happening in the Infinite Garden. I know you will be divided into teams and their prizes, but it would enrich the quality of the game if each player improves their skill by learning. There will also be mentors and speakers who will teach you new things. But wouldn't it also be fun if hackers here teach each other? Wouldn't it be fun if teaching and learning happen regardless of which team you are in? That is an example of an infinite game too. So, can you be an infinite teacher in this garden? I bet this has been already happening at the Ethereum hackathons, and that is because I believe Ethereum has the culture of open learning. Ethereum as a platform is an open source project, so it is naturally more open. Being open source makes the project more inclusive and transparent. From the learning standpoint, anyone can look at the code and learn many different things. But what I want to talk about today is about how the culture of learning has evolved in Ethereum. Also, how the culture of openness is making learning more effective. I like to call this open learning, and I strongly believe this is an important part of the Infinite Garden. For example, there are multiple dev tools that have been built by community members and are widely used, and some of them are built for learners. Scaffolded. How many of you know Scaffolded? Oh wow, a lot of them. Awesome. Yes. So Scaffolded, it gives you instructions on how to build on Ethereum step by step. Our dear friend Austin Griffiths, are you here? Is there? Yes. Built this originally for himself to onboard devs that are new to Web3, and he started offering speedrun, which is he provides a class where he goes through each step together with a new learner. Now there are many devs who learn with this tutorial. What is interesting is those who learned through it became more interested in building learning tools for others to learn. So Austin and his people started Build Guild, a community of builders who are building learning tutorials. There are a lot of stories on how Ethereum learns, but I like to use this community as an example so it is easier for you to see the open learning culture. The first story from this community is about an open learner and infinite teacher, Chev. I also heard he is here. I hope he's here somewhere. He learned with Scaffolded, like one of those people who learned through it. And now he is building Scaffolded too. How amazing is this? Yay! It's like, I think people are a little bit tired. Are you sure? Oh, yes, he's here. Okay, he's here. So you can hear the story from him. I'd love to actually also hear the story from you too. Awesome. And another great story from this Build Guild community is where a builder from that community learned from another open learning community. Calvin from Build Guild went to the 0xPark community, a community facilitated by the 0xPark Foundation now that is not only supporting different applied ZK projects, but also helping people to learn about ZK. He then came back to Build Guild and built a 3-part series to teach the next builders how to use a ZK circuit with a smart contract. And what is crazy is Austin, the original teacher, said almost 90% of what he knows about ZK apps are from him using these tutorials made by Calvin. I used to be a high school teacher, and I have seen maximize learning experiences when a teacher lets a student become a mini teacher. But the power of open learning in the Ethereum community is even more than that. One teacher does not teach everyone. They teach their students how to teach, and they become the teachers. And good teachers also learn from their students. By keeping learning tools open, we can have all different types of learning tools, and you are more likely to find something that fits your level and learning style. Going back to open learning hackathons, I believe hackathons represent the open learning culture of the Ethereum community. Why? Because you are here to learn and teach. You're not here to make a perfectly complete project within 3 days. The project might be a start of something important in the future. But the most important part of these 3 days is that you get to learn something you did not know before and to share what you already know with others. The knowledge that you gain and give will ripple outwards into the future and might help others on a similar journey. So let's think about how you actually learn then here. First, by making mistakes. I believe true learning can only come from having experience. You can read a book and stuff online to gain knowledge, but you do not really learn until you try it yourself. And the best way to learn is by making mistakes. I know this is a very tough one for Japanese people, especially. I also have suffered myself by being trained to be perfect. If you're developers, you probably have experienced the importance of making mistakes. Ethereum's protocol design also had this experience many times. Initial sharding and proof-of-stake designs were attempted to be implemented within smart contracts. Only when the researchers got into the architecture, they discovered the limitations in efficiency and expressivity of those system-level contracts. When Danny Ryan shared this story with me, he said that throwing away 6 to 12 months of work is always coupled with immense learning. It informs not only the immediate next item, but research and design on project for years to come. The beauty of a hackathon is that you will not be punished by making mistakes. So make lots of mistakes and believe that is only helping your learning. Next, you learn by working in a team, obviously. Building something by yourself and building something in a team are very different experiences. Here, some of you will work with people you've met for the first time. Each person, I believe, offers very different values to the team. Decisions are not easy to make when working in a team, but that is why the learning is stronger. You learn more when you need to balance multiple perspectives. You see from all the DAOs out there and how hard it is to have a good decision-making system, even with additional support with technology. There will be more than 200 teams made out of all hackers here. So if ETHGlobal combined all the learnings from teams at all the hackathon, they would have probably a great data set for DAO research.
Soon.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. And lastly, you will definitely learn from the experienced mentors, experts. There are many amazing experts here, depending on your interest. Like some sponsors also presented their expertise. From EF, for example, Peter, Marius, and some others from the Geth team are here. Yoav and the account abstraction team is here. Austin, I just said, he is out there, but his people from Build Guild community are here too. So you should definitely talk to them. They are expert in being a teacher. And as well as other mentors that are here to support you. Do not forget, though, that you as a hacker can be a teacher because everyone has a unique expertise, skills, and even personality that may inspire others. And with the spirit of open learning of Ethereum, allow me to try an experiment through this hackathon. This is like a new thing we are trying. We want to ask you to let us know about your learning experiences here, and let us know who was your best teacher. They can be mentors and speakers here, other hackers from your team or other teams working toward the same prizes. I would like to call them infinite teachers in the Infinite Garden. The Ethereum Foundation will try to share the outcome in some way to recognize infinite teachers. The learning does not have to be technical learning. You could receive some amazing wisdom to cope with the pressure or stress of this hackathon or how to maximize your focus. Even if you're new to the community, you can already be an infinite teacher too, as well as we all come with the wealth of experience and knowledge that influences how we collaborate to solve problems. Here's how you can help. Please save this on your phone. and answer the survey that asks who is your infinite teacher. Submit it by the end of hackathon, end of Sunday. By participating in this survey, you will receive an I Learned from an Infinite Teacher NFT that's designed by our designers. And then we also have the EF booth. So you can, if you have questions, you can ask questions there too. As another message from me, this is the last one. I also would like to encourage you to challenge yourself, try something a little bit outside of your comfort zone. There are many Japanese hackers here today who are locals here, 日本人の人。そんなになんか Okay. Yeah, I heard like 40% of hackers here are locals, which is the size of hackathons are very rare in Japan. So 40% is pretty impressive. How many then? Okay, like how many people here, non-Japanese, have a connection to Japan? Do you like anything about Japan? You raised hand most quickly. What do you like about Japan? Yes. Culture? Language? 日本語 Do you speak 日本語そうです Yes. I'm always impressed how many people actually are interested in learning Japanese because I don't know how useful it is. But 日本語 and then even within the Ethereum Foundation, we actually have quite a number of people who can speak Japanese, which is surprising. I always wonder, where do you use it? But anyway, some people might like food, ninja, Nintendo, anime. So there are things that Japan can be proud of, it seems like. But I know one thing that Japanese people tend not to be good at. They are not good at telling you what they're good at. We Japanese are trained not to do that from the very early time of our childhood. Japanese people here may not call themselves expert forever. However, if you find Japanese hackers tonight, I encourage you to invite one or two of them to your team. If you find someone who has a background very different from yours, I encourage you to invite them, like whether they're Japanese or not. Here's the reason why I think that's a good idea. First, in the case of Japanese, you might discover some subtle talents, something that others do not have. For example, by being born and raised in the country, I was trained to develop intuition. You know the English expression, read between the lines? In Japan, reading between the lines is very, very basic. We have an expression called read the air. You have to read something when there are not even lines or words. And that is considered as a common sense. So gradually you become very good at reading people's mind and things around them. This is also the reason why they can be good team players. Next, whether they're Japanese or not, there are many studies that discovered that more diversity leads to more creativity. One study tested college students' creativity at the beginning and the end of a semester. They found that students who had dated someone from another country become more creative. Have you experienced this? Oh, like there are people who are raising their hand. You said no. Okay, so you can help, like if you have experienced this, you can help but reflect on different circumstances that have helped shape the other person's views. And by looking from different perspectives, you end up developing creativity. You also take things less personally when other blockers are due to different backgrounds. So, of course, I'm not only talking about Japanese as there are more diverse set of backgrounds here. I would love to see mixed, diverse teams during this hackathon. If you have not teamed up yet, it will be great if you find new friends and build a team with people with different backgrounds. That is it. To summarize my 2 key points today, open learning opportunity, find your infinite teacher. Please scan this QR and save it and let us know who is your infinite teacher, and diversity in your team for creativity. Thank you very much and hope you have a great learning time. Happy hacking, everyone. どうもありがとう。